Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene a workshop and a regular meeting on Tuesday, August the 19th, 2014, at 5:40 p.m. and at 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of Brownsville City Hall, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Workshop Item A, Proyecto Juan Diego Organization, Community Services, and upcoming conference.
Welcome, sister. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's very good to be here, too. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Sister Phyllis Peters, the director of Proyecto Juan Diego. A lot of people have heard what Juan Diego was, but I just want to share with you some of the programs that have been developed through the years. As you all know, do we have a, oh, here it is, right here it is, I'm sorry. This is our building, but our mission is really to empower the low-income people and their families to be healthy and self-sufficient community members through our educational programs, our family activities, and the preventative health services that we offer. Now, you all know the statistics probably better than I do, but it's one of the poorest communities, you know, for its size in the United States. Only 19.3% have graduated from high school, 63% of the children are living below the poverty level, and more than half of them drop out of school. The average per capita income is $4,115, which is lower than Mexico or El Salvador. And it's just something we should think about. 53% unemployment rate. Now, these facts have all been developed within the last couple years by UT Public Health Services, and that is we have over, in the lower Rio Grande Valley, we have over 401,000 adults that have hypertension. We have 31% with diabetes. We have 48% adults who have elevated cholesterols, and we have 30% measurable levels of depression and anxiety, which goes right along with diabetes. None of it is unfamiliar. We have several programs. One of them is our adult education program. We have citizenship classes that we have in Spanish and English. I'd say probably 167 people every year get their citizenship papers through our classes. And we also do the renewal of residency papers besides. And all these people usually come back and give a testimony of how it went at their exams, and that gives much more motivation to other people to move forward with their citizenship. We have GED classes, and we just registered for them today, and we have over 55 people that have registered, and we have a list of about 25 more waiting. So I know that will be a full class. We have English classes, basic, intermediate, and advanced, and we work with Incarnate Word Education Language School, and they come over and they help us with those classes. What is good, I think, about our Step Up program is we can have people coming into our programs, young families, and if they get their GED, then they get English, and then they get their citizenship. It is really wonderful so that when they do get their citizenship, then they can get a real higher paying job and a much more stable job. What we do in our family program, during the last 3 years, we have chosen 20 families every year, and we follow those families for 3 years. We just finished our 9th year and followed over 57 families. We give them classes on goals and objectives, values, and we're sure that their children all have IDs, and we give them counseling sessions. And what's really good at that, over a 3 years program, almost every single one of those families, there was one person in the family that had a job, about 85% have reached their short-term goals, and about 53% have reached their long-term goals. Now, I've got to say their long-term goals were like, oh, I want to finish school, or I want to go to college, or I want to own my house. So they were pretty long-term goals, not three-year term goals. So they did very well. We also have parenting classes, which helps the families. We do also have a mother and child development class. Now, you wouldn't think that that would be too much, but that class is always full, and what it does, it helps the mothers be able to use play to teach them how to do different things, their alphabet, the word, increase in their word vocabulary. So the families, a lot of times, the moms bring their child, if they have the first child, they'll bring their second child. It develops a much deeper relationship with the child, one that she doesn't quite know how to develop if she hasn't had that in her own life. So it is very positive. The families can help us with our community garden. We have one on Carlos Street, and it's very active. We also have an adult program for those who are over age 55, and I must tell you, it's an all-morning program. And if it's raining or if it's cold, it doesn't make any difference. They're always there. We usually have 30 to 50 people there. And they start the morning with prayer. They have exercises. They learn about credit card theft or health insurance or any issues that is of their concern. And then they have a healthy meal to go along, and they never miss it. It's wonderful. It also sets up a good social network for the families. We have nutrition classes, and this is working out with, let's see, it's Extension AgriLife. They come over and help give classes on nutrition. And as you can see, those classes usually have 30 to 40 people in them. And people come once, twice, or 3 times because it is so deep with so many things. They learn how to cook. They learn how to use the proper dietary labeling and everything. We also have a after-school tutorial program. So if our families have a child who is kind of not doing real well in school, you know, they come and they put the kids in their after-school program. And I must say that most of the children, grades go up dramatically. What we're doing a little bit differently this next year is we're having the tutorial program 4 days a week, but the 5th day, we're going to concentrate on mentoring the dropouts. And because we're finding that in Cameron Park, you know, there's a lot of dropouts. So we're just concentrating one-to-one on people who might have the possibility of dropping out of school. We also have a stress management program, which husbands and wives both come to, and they come not only once, but twice, because the stress in their families is pretty high, if you know their backgrounds. The women in the Colonia have also developed a community PTA, because they have found that the PTAs in the schools really are like for fundraisers. They're not really to develop the individual in leadership skills so they can go into the schools and really find out what this tracking systems are and how to stand up for their kids and what's going on in the school district. So this is run by themselves. It is nationally and state certified. We have a St. Vincent de Paul Society. And one of our biggest things was when we came into the Colonia, we did a door-to-door survey to find out what was most important to them. And we found out that healthcare programs were essential because they really didn't have a lot of knowledge on that. So what we did is we went into the homes and we had our Promotores de Salud, who are state certified, educate them. We gave them pre and post tests, and we found out that really the educational level from a healthcare point of view has increased over 86% in the Colonia. Right now we have 5 volunteer promotors that are doing all the education in the homes. We have a large diabetic class. Now, we belong to the 1115 waiver, so I'll explain that a little bit later, but our We have a men's diabetic support group, and we have aerobics twice a day, and we do cholesterols. Now, in the 1115 program, it is the Salute Vita program, and we are in contract, with the Public Health Service. But it is also, the 1115 waiver has UT Public Health Service, Sioux Clinica, BCHC, Valley Baptist, Tropical Medicine, and a few other places. And we started with 2 clients in December of 2013, and as of today, we have 485 clients that we're visiting routinely within the city of Brownsville. So it's our A1Cs, which is a blood test for sugar, has gone down after 3 months, 53%, after 6 months, 42%. So that is pretty good. We are going to try to concentrate more on the 6-month and 9-month level, because that's usually where the blood work goes back down. So we're going to be working on that. But it really is a self-management program, and it is to decrease the healthcare costs and the emergency room admissions for these patients. The other program we have, it's called Take the Lead, and we have 2 levels. One is for the children of 6 to 13 years of age, and we use what we call the MEND. It is a world-known program which covers mind, exercise, nutrition, and then Do It. And the other program is for young adults of 25 years, and those programs all start in September. We had 1 already. And what I like about this program is it doesn't only involve the child. They bring their peers along and the families along. 2 sessions, 2 hours a week, twice a week, 2 hours a night, twice a week for 10 weeks. And if they survive that, their weight decreases and they do much better on their style of life. We also have aerobics twice a day. We do Zumbathons and runs. We do a lot of community action. We really have helped get the lights up in Cameron Park. We have are pushing for the completion of the last 3 roads to be completed in Cameron Park for lights. And we have a goal to improve the community. For example, in August, we have a tire pickup. In September, we have a branch pickup. And in October, we have a trash pickup. And that is with the cooperation of the city and the Cameron County. Our youth, we have a large youth group, and they help us get out the votes, and they do a lot of involvement in issues like immigration issues, wage and theft issues. And then we're involved in other things. We have a coalition. We're in coalition with UTB Advisory Board, which involves much more than 20 different county agencies. Equal Voice Network, which involves 11 funded agencies and about 15 other agencies. And we work with UT Health Sciences in San Antonio through the RAC and through Community Children's Agency, and work with Extension, United Way, and the Border Coalition. Now, the statistics are they've gone from 19,000 to 22,000 basic contacts, and referrals, as you can see, they have all increased. And I would wager to say that in 2014, because we're increasing our diabetic patients, those basic contacts are going to be way over the mark. You all have invite in your packet, and that is for our 10th anniversary celebration, which will be held at the Event Center on September 25th. And I would like you to come if you wish, because we're having a Dr. Holscher, who is world-renowned speaker on childhood obesity, and she should be excellent. Plus, we're also showing a video that one of our staff members made with UTB's assistance, and it's on obesity and hunger. So on behalf of Proyecto Juan Diego and our Board of Trustees and our staff, I thank you for inviting me tonight, especially Commissioner Villarreal. because this has been a wonderful thing to be able to say to you what we do. And in the very back, you have a website. We've just developed it this year, and so you can see what's going on at any time. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister.
Appreciate it.
I want to thank Sister and her programs because they do work, not just because they exist, but because they do empower families to be able to help themselves. They are a very important part of the win of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Culture of Health, and we look forward to their continued existence and proliferation. You guys are great.
If I can just add to what Rose just said, I visited the center and I thought it was great. I don't know how they pull all those little miracles off, but they do. And excuse me, they do serve our community. So I was wondering if we could talk to the library. I did mention it to a few people and haven't heard back, but if we could film maybe on site what their services are, just so our citizens know and they can reach out. Maybe they need the help, maybe they can help. So if we can do that, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Very good.
Workshop item B, recycling pilot program update.
Good evening, and thank you for asking me to come. Well, we asked you to put us on the agenda, actually, for this workshop. It's good to see everybody. I hope everybody had a good summer. Now it's back to work. Anyway, as you all very well know, the City of Brownsville wanted to have a curbside recycling pilot program. This was in the original United Brownsville plan in 2008, and 1,200 homes were selected. And we went through that with the steps that were in that plan. What we wanted to do was, the purpose of the study was to evaluate the likely participation, the benefits of the community through landfill avoidance, and the projected cost of running a citywide program. That was the reason we did the pilot program. This is very small, but I tried to get it all on one page. And we have the data from the 25 weeks of the pilot program. We picked up every week. We picked up plastics 1 and 2. We picked up newspaper and tin cans and aluminum cans. We did have some thievery of our bins, and we are continuing with that. We've lost 3 more this week. So we have not recovered them. But either way, if you look at this figure, you can look at it 2 ways. We had targeted 1,200 homes. We actually had 1,224 addresses. Of those 1,224 addresses, 751 were people that said they would participate. We knocked on their door, we gave them education information, we told them what they had to recycle, how it was going to happen, and they decided to, what happened?
Charlie.
Sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, so of that, you'll see that set outs, which is the people who actually put out their bins, was a maximum of 321, a minimum of 201. And of those, we had between 66 and 18 were contaminated. And that means they had things in their recycle bin that were not being picked up, or they were dirty, or we could not take into our recycle program as we had requested from the pilot study. If you look at that, you can say that we have probably a percentage rate of 34%, which is pretty good. Or you can say that 1,224 homes were targeted, only 274 of them participated. That gives you a percentage of probably 4%. So you have to look at either way if you want to look at it that way. I choose not to. Anyway, but what we have done since then is accumulated the data And the next thing that we want to do is, you all had asked me last time to see what other cities were doing. So I did my research this summer. I took cities with a population close to what Brownsville has of 190,000 to 200,000. Amarillo, Texas, and Mobile, Alabama do not have a curbside recycling program. Houston, Texas has a recycling program, and 6% of their waste is recycled, which is very, very low. It is mandatory. Their containers vary by size because they have the option of having more than one vendor pick up at the curb. Some vendors will do 18 gallons, some vendors will do 96 gallons, the roll-out carts. So they collect everything, including glass, and collect weekly. They usually charge between $4 to $6 per month per household. And I'll tell you a little bit about Houston right now is going through a new program. They're going into something new called All in the Bin. It's not something that's very popular, but they figure that they can increase their participation rate if everything is put in one bin. Garbage, trash, compostable material, and recyclable material. They pick that up, then they take that to a facility, a materials recovery facility, and then it's sorted. The problem with that is your contamination rate is very high, and the material going out the back door of recyclables is not of the quality that you want to resell. I imagine, we really don't know what's going to happen with that. Houston is the first one that's tried that, and they're getting some opposition from the community to do that. Corpus Christi, 78% of their waste is recycled, and they have a 9% contamination rate. They collect all glass, all materials except glass and styrofoam. They have the large gallon containers, and they collect on a weekly basis. It is not mandatory. They do collect every other week. They have good participation, they feel, because of the reward points. The city says if you recycle and you recycle properly, you will get reward points that go towards different things, small appliances, cash cards, those kinds of things, from the money that's recovered for the recycling material. Grand Rapids, Michigan, it's a pay-as-you-throw program. All materials, it is single stream. The bins come in different sizes, 32 to 96. It is voluntary. Again, they have they do it once a week. They have no education, and they have 85% more recycling bins than they do trash bins. They have, it's voluntary, but it works for them. The people that are in that community, and this is just Grand Rapids, it's not the area around it. Grand Rapids itself is about 200,000 people. Des Moines, Iowa, single stream, collect every other week. It is mandatory, all materials, including glass. And then Yonkers, New York, is an area that has villages and little townships and some cities, and they all participate in curbside recycling. They do it once a week. It is double stream. That means that they put a compostable material in one bin, and they put all other recyclable materials in another bin. Their landfill is a waste-to-energy facility, and they've been recycling since 1992, when the state said cities need to do something about our landfill space and what's happening in our communities. So that's why they started. You have any questions on that? Oh, great. Wonderful. So I wanted to tell you what a MRF is, MRF. It's a materials recycling facility, or it's a multi-reuse facility. This is where the recyclable material ends up, and it gets dumped by the truck onto a huge conveyor belt, and people sort it. People focus on just one thing. They're going to collect plastic bottles that are number ones, and that's all they collect. Or they're going to collect newspapers, and that's all they're going to collect and sort. All that is put into other bins, and then it's baled. And what goes out the back door is important because recycling materials have become a commodity. There are prices that go up and down based on the what the market is asking for, just like gold and other minerals that you have, things that are important. So you want to get a reputation as a community, as a city, of having good quality recyclable materials. You just don't want to have trashy stuff. Cardboards, as some of you might know, you get some cardboard and it falls apart on you, and then there's very good cardboard. There's a big difference on how that is purchased by other people. If it's already been recycled once or twice, chances are it's not going to be, you're not going to get a good price for it. If you have cardboard that is very good, very sturdy, corrugated, you're going to get more money for it. And that's the end result of what the city of Brownsville wants to do. So I wanted you to know what a MRF was. I don't know if you all were acquainted with that, but we have kind of a MRF in Brownsville right now. This gentleman has started a facility, and I think he has employed 6 people, and he does collect recyclables. He sorts them, bales them, and then he makes sure that he gets his best price for his money. So, are there any questions? We're almost done. So we wanted to make sure that the key element of the pilot program was education. I think we did that very well by looking at our contamination rate. We asked you for an extension to the end of August. That is coming up soon. Charlie and Roberto and I met, and we thought it would be a good idea to put out a request for proposals asking what people could do for us, what vendors could do for us in regards to curbside recycling. Where's Roberto? He'll tell you a little bit about what he put in the proposal and what we anticipate getting. Right, Charlie?
Commissioners and mayors, this RFP that is currently out, it's basically for a curbside recycling. That will be for around 41,000 homes. It's going to be similar to what we have for solid waste. The thing is, it's going to be a separate container, different color. We're thinking about doing it once every other week. And the RFP is due actually tomorrow. So we have the option on the RFP for a price for collection per home for up to around 41,000 homes, and the option of voluntary. It's voluntary, and also the mandatory option. So tomorrow we're gonna find out what numbers we get on this RFP.
And when will you be ready to bring that back to us?
Usually, the RFP procedures, it might take us somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks to get the committee together, evaluate everything, and then bring it back to City Commission.
Did the proposal include the rewards program? Because I noticed that the Corpus Christi was the one that had the rewards program, and that's one of the most successful ones. So did that RFP include the rewards program?
That would be something that the commission and you all would have to decide if it's an incentive to the participants. It's not an incentive to the vendors that would be collecting the recyclable material. We wanted to do the RFP to see what kind of costs we were thinking about or talking about for each individual household. And that's what we wanted to bring back to you. When the committee meets with that, I will look into more at the rewards to make sure that we get that question answered for you. But that, we're not at that point yet. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I
We-
would think it would be included in the RFQ.
The,
Wow.
the reward comes from the city, not from the vendor.
Yeah.
So the vendor's not gonna wanna participate in rewards. Comes from the city, so we'd have to do that independently of the.
Yeah, if the city says, we're going to do it, we're going to mandate that every, or 41,000 homes recycle at the curb, but we're going to charge you, let's say, $1 every month that we collected. But for every month that we collected, and it is correct, it's supposed to be the way it is, then we will give you a reward for it. That's something the city and the city commission would have to take on. It is successful, it is out there, and we can find out what those rewards are for you and what that costs the city and what the end result of that is. Because ultimately, we need to think about this. This is short-term. Getting curbside recycling is short-term. What we want to do is have a facility, have a sustainable program that is looked at just like our other programs, our health programs, our other initiatives that we've had with the city of Brownsville, the plastic bag ban, the health issues that we've received some wonderful awards from and kudos. You want to do the same thing with that. We need to come up to that standard in Brownsville and go forward with that.
Robert, the other thing, if I recall correctly, in looking at some of these programs, there's also the consideration of what the landfill, what they save money at the end of the day, because, you know, you have so many years to fill that thing up and how much time it's going to cost you. And so there is a savings there also. So if you guys, you know, not formally, but touch base with the landfill, you know, what their life expectancy and how are we going to reach the capacity, and what that would do if we collect X amount of stuff. Does that mean that we're going to save the city more money at the end? Plus, also, not only that, the health benefits, but it's also saving the earth, but it's also saving us money, okay? Would you all look at that?
Mayor?
Yes,
If
sir.
you don't mind, could I piggyback on your idea there, just for a request?
Sure.
As far as this, Robert, can you get with Santana and with Martino? And in this information that you're collecting, this year, landfill has always been what we turn to help us in a time of need. This year, when you gave us our budget, we're in a shortfall at the landfill. Could you see if, within the information, what is that percentage due to the tipping fee? Is that percentage due to, because now we are recycling, because we are giving our landfill more life, does that mean that our fees are gonna be, the money that we're gonna be receiving from the landfill, because at the end, we're the stewards, and we need to report to the people. Okay, we do have a shortfall at the landfill, but it is because of this. Could you look into it and maybe offer
Sure.
that request?
We'll
give
look
us that
into
time?
that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks again for
Thank
everything.
you.
Any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, I did want, put up my last slide. I'll do it. So, these are some of your options. You can mandate that we have an all-city-wide recycling program. You can do a volunteer pay-as-you-throw. You can set up recycling drop-off locations throughout the city if you don't want to have it at the curb in your different districts. Or we can do 4, do absolutely nothing and go back to the way we were. Okay? Got it.
Got it, Mom.
Thank you.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for this nation that we're blessed to be a part of. Lord, we ask you today to lead and guide our leaders, our president, our governor, our county judge, and the leaders here before us here today. Lord, we ask you to lead and guide us on the projects that are presented. We thank you for the opportunities that will be presented here tonight. Help each of us to see the far-reaching effects of each one of them and make the decisions that are best for the city of Brownsville. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Mayor's activity report?
None.
No report. Commissioners' activity report?
I'd like to remind everyone that this Friday from 7 to 11 p.m. is the second nighttime ciclovia for this year. The ciclovia Glow Wild is starting at 7 p.m. on Friday, so come out, enjoy your family and friends in a safe, car-free environment for a few hours and check it out. So please check our website, come on down, try it out if you haven't. Last time we had over 12,000 people, so it's a lot of fun.
I have an announcement. This morning, United Brownsville hosted Congressman Filemon Vela and members from the U.S. Economic Development Administration to hold a press conference announcing the $300,000 grant awarded to United Brownsville. This grant funds the analysis of the local supply chain, including the maquiladora industry in Matamoros, in support of the Binational Economic Development Zone initiative. The primary goal of this project will be to develop a foundation to create a competitive, binational advanced manufacturing cluster that can create higher wage jobs by completing a backward integration supply chain analysis of the greater Brownsville-Matamoros region. Public and private sector entity members of United Brownsville were in attendance, as well as elected officials from our sister cities of Matamoros and Harlingen. This is truly a momentous occasion that demonstrates our city's ability to collaborate effectively with our sister cities to reach one common goal and advance the collective impact for all. I would also like to mention the entrepreneurship program that I mentioned at the last commission meeting. The deadline to apply is September 5th, and it is the UTB Kauffman Fast Track New Venture Entrepreneurship Program. And it's a month-long program, and thanks to the sponsorships by BCIC, BEDC, Falcon Bank, IBC Bank, Rio Bank, and Walmart, the entire fee for the course and the materials and everything you will need is $100. So I encourage everyone to apply. And lastly, in line with the Ciclovia announcement, I wanted to invite everyone to join me at Market Square. I was invited to talk about the All-America City Award and to have a community celebration. I will be answering any kinds of questions, and we will even try to play the performance video for everyone. And we had the special All-America City cycling shirts made. So they will be for sale for $45, and all the proceeds go to create more events like this. Thank you.
So each Reclovia, thanks for reminding me, each Reclovia on Friday night will be celebrating one of our recent awards. Market Square, as Commissioner mentioned, is the All-American City. Washington Park is Robert Wood Johnson Culture of Health Award, and McNair Park is celebrating Playful Cities. So you can cycle around the 2-mile square and check out all of the neat things that are happening and join us to celebrate.
One more thing, Mayor. I just want to remind everybody it's not really a city topic, but BISD Kids, Commissioner Longoria would know, is starting school next week. And so on behalf of the City Commission, we just want to wish everybody a very happy and healthy school year. And our city is here to work hand in hand with our kids. We believe in you. And so we're here for you, and we wish you all the best this year. And so get to bed early, eat a very good breakfast, and get to school. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate them all. Proclamations.
Proclamations, Alonso and Yolanda Barrientos, please.
Come on over here,
Please stand in front of
Yoli. So it is my great pleasure to sponsor this proclamation. Proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing and commending Alonso Tiny Barrientos and Yolanda Barrientos for service to the community. Whereas for more than 3 decades, many Brownsville residents have benefited from the dedication and commitment that Alonso Tiny Barrientos and his wife Yolanda have devoted through countless hours of volunteer service in our community. And whereas during this time and through the many different organizations the Barrientos have been part of. They have advocated and promoted volunteerism as a way to help keep our city and community thriving, promoted and encouraged physical fitness, educated the public on the many benefits physical fitness, engaged and coordinated with other agencies to advocate physical fitness, and whereas Tiny's community involvement has led him to have served as president of the Sombrero Festival, president of the Brownsville JCs, board member of the Moody Clinic and the Boys and Girls Club, and whereas as a Vietnam veteran, Tiny founded the annual Memorial Day Silent March to honor those brave men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice with their lives in combat. And whereas as an avid runner, founded the Brownsville Marathoners Running Club, an organization that has promoted running in Brownsville since 1976, has held running events throughout the years, including the Palm Boulevard Mile, the Turkey Trot, the Autism Awareness Fun Run, and the Charo Days Classic, which is the oldest foot race in the Rio Grande Valley. And whereas through the Brownsville Marathoners Running Club, Tiny and his wife Yolanda have awarded scholarships to qualifying Brownsville graduating seniors for their accomplishments in track and cross country during their 4 years in high school and are pursuing a higher education. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby recognize and commend Alonso Tiny Barrientos and his wife Yolanda Barrientos for their selfless dedication and valuable contributions to our city and its residents. Done on this 19th day of August 2004, signed Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission.
You know, the best work of life is volunteerism, and without volunteers, events don't exist. So, thanks to all the volunteers and members of our organization. Thank you.
Our next proclamation is the East Brownsville Girls Softball Team.
Oh, are they here? Okay, I think the team manager has asked, Manager Tony has asked that we table it because the girls are now in volleyball and they train very, very vigorously and could not fit this into their schedule. So we're going to have to accommodate them at a better time and reschedule for the girls.
We'll reschedule that one. Okay, Stella?
Yes, sir.
Item number 4 is a presentation for Chess City of the Year Award for 2014, awarded by the U.S. Chess Federation.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. My name's Russell Harwood. I'm the chess program director at the University of Texas at Brownsville. I have some students here with me to help present this award because this is what it's all about. This award, we've been here on the other side. We've been fortunate enough to be recognized by the city for some of our accomplishments, but today we're here to recognize the city. And this award is coming from the United States Chess Federation, and I have some students with me to help present the award. This is one of my students at UTB, Grandmaster Holden Hernandez. And we have 2 local students, BISD students. This is Rohan Truckgru and Priya Truckgru. Rohan and Priya are both going to be representing the United States and the city of Brownsville, obviously, at the World Youth Chess Championship next month in South Africa. This will actually be Priya's 3rd time to represent the U.S. at a World Youth Chess Championship, and this is something you have to qualify for. Only the top players in the United States qualify. Priya is a former, several years ago, she was the girls under 10 national champion, and this will be her 3rd time going to the World Youth. She's currently ranked 18th in the country among girls under 16, and she's only 13, so I'm sure that ranking is going to move up. And Rohan is currently ranked 10th in the country for his age, 8 years old.
Wow.
Okay, we're here to present an award on behalf of the United States Chess Federation. I serve the Chess Federation in several capacities. I'm serving my 4th term as chair of the College Chess Committee, and I just got reelected my 2nd term to the Scholastic Council, which is a group of 7 of us that basically oversee scholastic chess for the whole country. So Brownsville is very well represented at the national level of the U.S. Chess Federation. Earlier this month, I was in Orlando for the national meetings, and I was very pleased to hear that Brownsville had been selected as the Chess City of the Year. This is an award that they started giving the U.S. Chess Federation back in 1983. It's an award that's voted on by the Executive Board of the United States Chess Federation, which is basically their board of directors, the governing body of the federation, and they vote on this award. And since I got back and people heard about the award, they asked me, well, why did we get this award? And basically, I think it's for several reasons. I think it's because of the outstanding program at BISD. BISD has Brownsville has one of the highest participations in chess per capita in the country, without a doubt. Almost all the schools in BISD and most of the private schools have active chess programs, and we've been very successful. We've won many national championships, but to me, the most important thing is the fact we have a lot of kids playing chess. And as an elementary school teacher for 10 years, I know chess is very, very good for the kids. And so, I think it's because of BISD's chess program. Obviously, the chess program at UTB, we've had one of the top programs in the country for the last 6 or 7 years now. So, at our regionals last year, our region is the smallest region in Texas geographically. It's only the 4-county Valley area. We had over 1,550 kids playing our regional championship last year, by far the largest regionals in the United States. So I think it's really an award. I don't know that it was one particular thing that happened this past year, but I really think it's because of what we've been doing for years now. Most of the recipients of this award have been major cities. The last 4 have been Chicago, LA, Nashville, and St. Louis. And a lot of times the award is shared between several cities. We are being recognized on our own. The award is just for Brownsville for 2014. So on behalf of the United States Chess Federation, I'm very pleased to present this award. Now, before I bring it up, I want to tell you one more thing that's happening that's very exciting in chess. We will have a team for the first time starting in about a week. We're going to have a team in the United States Chess League. It's called the Rio Grande Ospreys. We tried to get Rio Grande Valley, but there was a limit on words, so they cut it down to Rio Grande. But the United States Chess League is 18 teams from around the country that compete at the very highest level of chess. The matches are played online. They're played once a week all through the fall. The teams are from New York, LA, Chicago, Dallas. Most of them are very, very large cities. This year, the U.S. Chess League decided that they would expand. They would add a couple of teams, and we were lucky enough to be selected to be one of those teams. So these are matches that are going to be held online. We'll have it up on our UTB website, the link where you can follow the matches if you choose. There's going to be one match a week, either on Tuesday or Wednesday night. But this is our logo. We're going to be the Rio Grande Ospreys. So I hope you guys will help support. This is chess at the highest level, guys. So anyway, on behalf of the U.S. Chess Federation, I'm very pleased to present you guys with the award for the 2014 Chess City of the Year.
Congratulations. Hey, stay awesome, okay? Congratulations. You're a very special person. Congratulations. Undoubtedly, he's like one of the cutest little guys I have ever seen. Like, and smartest.
Mayor, if you don't mind, real quick, I could just, Dr. Lustraco, congratulations, and congratulations on the big financial and all the sacrifice that you've made, you know, for Priya and now for Rohan also. Thank you for everything that you've done, and also to the parents. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Item 5, consent agenda items A through N.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 6, public hearings. Public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2014-024-CO to rezone from general retail X classification to light retail G classification for 13.84 acres of Espiritu Santo Grant, Share 22, located at FM 511 or Highway 550 and Paredes Line Road.
Commissioner, good evening. As you remember this case from a meeting before, a couple of weeks before. This is the case, rezoning. This is located on 511 and Paredes Line, just across the Palo Alto Battlefield National Park. As you can see the distances here, 1,100, 3,800 from the closest industrial park. We met with the applicants, staff have met with the applicants a couple of times, or maybe more than a couple of times. Doro Garcia has been the leading guy on meeting with the clients. A site plan was presented, but is not part of the rezoning, because this is a rezoning, it's not a specific use. They already applied at the building permitting department. They have committed to meet certain requirements or certain requests, I should say, from public, from Palo Alto Field, from some of this commission. Still, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this rezoning, and it's before you tonight.
Excuse me, this is public hearing, so it's open to the public. Any comments from anyone? You're going to...
There's somebody back there.
Okay. Hello, my name's
Just
Steven.
State your name for the...
Okay, my name's Steven Hall. I'm a local bike mechanic and bicycle avidist. I have a lot of fun with cycling. I just think it's really great what you guys are doing with the bike trails. Improve the 6th Street, improvement there. I think that's really great. I think you guys are going in a great direction. Really appreciate that you guys are all working together with whatever has to happen, because it's a lot of things I don't understand. I think this is an awesome, great bringing money for the city. I just think it's kind of a funky position. I don't know if any of you guys have been there. It's kind of not like a lot of room there for trucks to get out and then to enter onto Paredes Line, which they'll then go right or left, I guess, onto 511. Doesn't really leave a lot of room. I don't think it's bothering the cyclists at all because the trail's on the other side. I don't think it's going to be the most pleasant thing because there's going to be a huge truck stop there. And then, just other things. I didn't understand why they're going from light commercial to light industrial. It didn't really make sense to me. I don't know why a truck stop would have to do that to become a truck stop. And why did they open the area to, what was it, 67 acres or 57 acres? I don't understand that exactly. I mean, I would guess because there's a railroad track that runs right back there, and that would be more easy access for them. I didn't really understand that too much. I mean, I just kind of hope that everybody kind of looks at that and just kind of figures out what's going on there. I don't really understand that too well. But I think it's great, bring in money, whatever you got to do, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But just hope that, it's being taken the right way, because that's a really beautiful area out there. There's not a lot of, anything built. So anyways, thank you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Abraham Galonsky, and I'm here to support that project. I think this is the most adequate place to have a truck stop because it will service the port. It'll probably give more than 100 jobs out there, and they claim even to put up a hotel that would be even beneficiary for the park. And I just cannot see in what way it interferes. Even if they claim an environment, all the trucks are going to run on 511 and 510. So, and it's on the other side. You have the overpass that covers it up. I just cannot see why would somebody oppose it. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Galonsky.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to let us speak about this important project. And my name is Edgar Gaucin, and I am a person part of this wonderful bicycle movement that's happening here in Brownsville. And actually, I want to just take the time to thank you for everything that you're doing on behalf of the residents in promoting these wonderful, wonderful cycling events for the community. I think it's great. I think all of us are in favor of economic development. I think this truck stop is important for the trucking industry. It's important for development, but talking to some of my cycling friends, what we are concerned about is their safety, because hike and bike trail goes through this area. So we are hoping that the city works with the advocates who work with the planners, work with the people that have experience with the routes, with the trails, so that we can ensure the safety of not only the cyclists, but of the pedestrians as well. Great.
Thank you for your
Thank you
concern.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for
very
your
much.
comments.
Brad Burks, and I just want to remind all of you that the bicycles everyone's talking about arrived here on trucks. These chairs you're sitting on arrived on trucks. The desks you're at, everything that we use arrives on trucks. And as I said before, everybody wants what the truck driver's hauling, but nobody wants the truck or or the truck driver. And it's an opportunity, as they have mentioned that last time, that they were willing to put in a tourism bureau in the truck stop. That's an opportunity to showcase our battlefield to the rest of the nation, because these truck drivers come from everywhere. It's an opportunity to tell them about our zoo, to tell them about our port, to tell them about our beaches, to tell them about all the wonderful things that are available here in Brownsville. And when you treat truck drivers badly, they have a bad message when they leave a city. And that goes all over the nation as well. And as I mentioned before, I was a truck driver years ago. And when you're looking at safety, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit dangerous in the morning before I've had my caffeine and protein. And when truck drivers are forced to park somewhere for the night where they cannot eat in the morning, that's dangerous. I mean, and they're driving 80,000 pounds. And all the way around, we need to see what we can do to make this work, in my opinion. I think it'll be good for the city of Brownsville. It's a lot of jobs. And when I delivered to Brownsville long before I came here to start a church, and you have to go a long ways to find a full-service truck stop, one that has everything that they're talking about with the shops and the restaurant and the showers, everything that the truck driver needs, the store that caters specifically to the truck drivers. And so I would hate to see this be chased off to McAllen or some other city. So I encourage you to see what we can do to make it work. So.
Thank you, Brad. Mark?
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you again for the opportunity to address you on this ordinance issue. I want to assure you that the National Park Service recognizes change and we support development around the park. If it's appropriate and it's done in concert with the zoning laws we have on the books that are correctly applied and enforced. At the request of the Commission during the last meeting, I have spoken to Ms. Vera, the representative from United Fuel, concerning a space in their facility if this zoning action is approved. And we will work with them cooperatively as a good neighbor. In turn, I told Ms. Vera that I hoped that I could request of the City Commission that the applicable overlay districts for this particular parcel of land are incorporated into the rezoning and most importantly addressed in the approved building permits so that they can be on the record and they can be followed up for inspection and enforcement at a later date. We had some confusion over whether or not this was a specific use at the last meeting. And I had a very good visit with Mr. Warricks in the zoning department, and we cleared up a lot of the confusion. And this is in fact not a specific use, it is a rezoning, albeit for 13.8 acres for a truck stop. And then on the ordinance tonight, there are certain conditions that have been applied from differently than the one that appeared before us 2 weeks ago. And I've been assured by zoning that the 042 Trade and Commerce Development Overlay, the 051 Tourist Corridor Overlay, and the 051A Site and Signage Overlay do apply under this particular ordinance. And I've got maps of those. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I'd be happy to share with you at this time. But I have been assured those are in fact incorporated into this particular rezoning. I think if we apply those overlay districts correctly, we're going to address many of the issues that the Park Service and our neighbors have with this particular site, such as noise, screening of trucks, the landscaping, and the signage. Specifically, you know, in the 042 overlay, there is language that says specifically, truck stops shall provide parking for semi-trucks in areas obscured from public view, such as behind buildings and other structures. There's provisions for landscaping up to 50% of the front yard. There's provisions for signage that does not go up in the air over certain heights or certain dimensions within a quarter mile of a national park, a state park, or a wildlife refuge. All those enforced could make this a workable agreement. But in order to get those enforced, I believe that I need to ask the Commission to ensure that they're directly referenced in the ordinance, and most specifically directly referenced in the final building plans, so that that facility is constructed with all of the provisions in the overlay districts in place. We still are going to have traffic issues with this thing. We're going to have noise and fumes. But if proper zoning is applied here, I believe we can make it work. And my last request of the Commission again, and I hope to work with the city manager, is to put forward a workshop for future zoning around the park so that I won't occupy more of your time.
No, it's not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. On those overlay, can I ask the legal counsel, how do we handle that?
I mean, if the overlays have been incorporated into the new ordinance, that would apply.
Okay, so it's already in the new ordinance?
It's an established ordinance. They're established ordinance.
No, I realize they're established ordinances, but here's what I don't want. I don't want any misunderstanding. I think it's been wonderful that everybody's working together, because I think everybody on the City Commission realizes that we're all, you know, trying to advance the economic interest. We've seen the poverty statistics, but we also would like to preserve as much as we can with regards to the beauty of Palo Alto and the national parks that we have. So I just want to make sure that there's no misunderstanding that those overlays do apply in this particular instance if you're going to change the ordinance. And the second thing, Charlie, while I got you in mind, taking up time, the other thing that I found out was that this gentleman who is the owner had come down here 2 or 3 times, and we didn't have a quorum for the planning and zoning. I'd like to make sure that we eliminate all that somehow or another, give the Commission a little report to every one of us, to say, here was a problem, because I understand this project has been here since March. These people have made expense to come down here. That's not what we want to have happen again. We want to find out, why that happened and how do we correct it, and so that, and the whole commission gets, involved in that situation as far as, we want to know that we have a solution and that won't happen again. So our apologies to the investors, okay?
Yes, sir, we're resolving that as we speak.
Okay, and
The ordinance is for.
okay. I think, is Walter, we have one last, I'm sorry.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, I appreciate being here with you again. I'm not going to sing the same song and dance that I did the last meeting. Of course, we still maintain this is the wrong place for a truck stop, but we understand these are things that need to be looked at. You've got these presentations here. You've heard from Mark Spear, other people from NOE. One thing I would like to add to this, I think it's very important. One of the most important things, I think, in putting this thing together is to have a professional traffic study done. As I've maintained and I've come across here, my committee people, everyone agrees, our biggest concern, the truck stop can be camouflaged. There's things that can be done there. We understand that. But our biggest concern are tractor trailers, tanker trucks, going in and out, turning west, coming from the west, going to the west, going to the east, so on and so forth, Paredes Line Road to Los Fresnos. As I mentioned in the last meeting, we're going to see an increase in truck traffic relating to the industrial park right down the street. And as the Titan Tire facility becomes another tenant, perhaps will add quite a few jobs and vehicles. So there again, I'm saying to you, why is it so difficult for us, for this city, to incorporate a professional traffic study to be done prior to a building permit being issued or whatever we need to do? I'm not well versed on reading all these legal matters. I leave that up to other folks that are into that. But I'm asking professional traffic study. And I'd like to say this. I don't believe, I could be wrong, you're welcome to correct me, Noe, but I don't believe that Mark Lund has been brought in and consulted about this project since its very conception. And if he has brought in and he has consulted, I would suspect it's just been the last few days. I think anytime we have a situation with an intersection involving things like this, our city transportation director should be welcome in to the P&Z department to perhaps help sort out situations like we've got here now and our concerns. So with that, I'll close. I think I've said enough, and I do appreciate you've got a lot of responsibility, and we need to make things work. And I'll be on the positive with these folks too, if we can see some positives. I'd like to say one more thing. Like I mentioned in the last meeting, when the Titan Tire plant was moved south, of course, there again, promises were made about painting the north end of that building sky blue to help camouflage it, putting the tree lines up. It's not for me to say how we enforce these things or how we make them work, but I think as part of whatever we're doing here, Park Service working with these folks, our committee, city plannings, building permit people, let's get some teeth in these things. If there's mitigation going to be done, some positives going to be done, and everybody's for it, then let's make sure that it's enforced and followed up on, and not come to one of these meetings and say, well, it's not our responsibility. Oh, yes, it's there, and it was all part of it, but not my responsibility. Some city department, I think, needs to take a responsibility or somehow doing these things. And again, I would recommend that we do a traffic study. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Council, my name is Baltasar Salazar. I'm the attorney for United Fuel Supply. I'm representing United Fuel Supply in Texas and in Mexico. I think both the park ranger and the last gentleman that came up hit it on the head. We have to be responsible, and I will tell you that this is a responsible company. This company's not a fly-by-night, and and we don't want to be compared with other, with failures. But the key is responsibility. We've looked at the overlays. The park ranger sent it to us via email. I reviewed it, and I can represent to this commission that all three overlays have some subtle differences, but we will comply with every single subtle difference. We will also, we've contacted the engineers, and they have, in the last week or so, they have gone ahead and they've gone back and they've rerouted the bike trail. I know that's a concern for some commissioners, so we are addressing that. We will do everything we can. We are part of Brownsville. We do not want it to be a sore eye. This is not going to be a junkyard. This is going to be a first-class facility, again, to serve a need. I mean, I drove from Houston this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I know somebody said that this is kind of a funky place, but every single truck stop is on the side of an expressway. It's not a funky place. That's where they go. That's where the traffic is. We met with the Port of Brownsville this afternoon, Mr. Garcia at Santiago Garcia. He's one of the partners with United Fuel. And there's nothing but expansion. There's nothing but positive things. There's some construction going out there. There's industrial. I think the meeting that you went to this morning where our representative was there. I mean, they're talking about all of this natural gas and oil coming in from Mexico. It's now has just kind of been semi-privatized. These are all areas that really, you have no idea what's coming to Brownsville. There is a lot of development beyond this industrial park's dreams. So it's coming. We can't stop the traffic. We can't stop progress. We will make every effort to include both the parks, of course, the city planning, the engineering. We spoke with Bina Ayala about tourism. I talked to him a couple of days ago, and we told him we will place within our truck stop a designated area for what if they want to sell caps, they want to sell paraphernalia. We want to promote Palo Alto. Because what are they going to say? Palo Alto, yeah, that's right by the truck stop. And we want to promote that. We want to promote bike stands. We want to do our trail on the bike part, I can guarantee is going to be better than the city's trail. And that's a challenge, and it's a good challenge. But we want to make it good. We want to make it safe. Nobody wants an accident. So having said that, we're asking on behalf of United Fuel Supply that you approve this change. It will be very positive, and we will be responsible neighbors to both Palo Alto and anybody else in that area. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Senator.
And Mr. Mayor, I just want to confirm that all three overlay districts will definitely apply to this ordinance. So it doesn't need to be changed. It can be voted on, and all three or the overlay districts will apply.
Thank you, Mark.
I have a few comments. Sunday morning, my husband and I rode the trail all the way into the battlefield. I have to say I had not gone into the battlefield for a while, and I have to say, Mark, it was outstanding. We rode the trails there, read the signs. The last time I was in the park, the trails weren't paved. It was just dirt trails. So we were exceptionally impressed, and I know that the National Park Service is an important partner in the city. We also rode the trail to look at the locations because it had been a while since I had been that far north on the trail, and the Battlefield Trail is a national recreation trail, the only one south of San Antonio. And so we don't want the safety or the experience of the riders or the joggers or the women pushing the strollers with their children to be unsafe or unpleasant when they're on that trail. Sunday afternoon, I went to McAllen and met with Mr. Garcia and had a very nice conversation and looked at plans and such, many of which had already been changed before I got there to accommodate for more rich landscaping and the trail that goes around the back of the facility, as I had brought up, and other bikers had brought up last week. There are a lot of ways that this truck stop can be a bicycle-friendly haven, and Mr. Garcia impressed me with his sincerity of wanting to do that, so that it's not just any old truck stop, but an exceptional truck stop that's welcoming to everyone and also beneficial to visitors to the park, as well as truck drivers that are driving down the street. So I will lend my support to this project in the spirit with which I discussed with Mr. Garcia and in the spirit that all of the ordinances are complied with.
Mayor, before I close public hearing, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming down all the way from California several times to meet with us. Liz and Lenny Vera and Baltasar, of course, coming all the way from Houston. Thank you for your time. And if you don't mind me just straying just a little bit, the biker gentlemen, the two gentlemen that came to speak up, thank you for supporting your cause, your recreation, your business. But also, thank you for coming to our meeting and for recognizing our job and for recognizing that we need to provide money for this community. Thank you, because this is the first time that I actually hear people come from the biking community to come in and speak, and that you're willing to work with our community. Thank you so much for that.
Hello. My name is Santiago Garcia. I just wanted to take the time to thank you all for your cooperation. Like I said a few weeks ago, I'm here to comply with whatever we need to do for the city. I'm originally from Mexico, from Matamoros, so I'm very familiar with the city. My roots are here. And like I said before, back in July, even though the whole quorum wasn't here, I was still willing to cooperate. I could have taken this project somewhere else, but my roots are here in Brownsville. And I just wanted to thank you, all of you, for the time and for your vote, for your support. It means a lot to me, and obviously, I just want to make everybody happy. I don't want to take anything from anyone. I want to build jobs. I want to create tax revenue for the city. That's all I want.
Thank you so much. And as you can note, these are all very responsible people. They want to make sure that we are pro-business, and at the same time, we also make sure that Palo Alto and all the other national parks are well preserved and well taken care of. So thanks again for everybody for cooperating on this thing.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
I have a real quick comment. Again, I just wanted to thank you and especially Ms. Vera for all of the phone calls that you made to me to inform me about what was going on. I do want to apologize for the non-quorum in the planning and zoning. That, on behalf of the city, we will get that fixed, and we will make sure that that is addressed immediately. But as far as anything, welcome to Brownsville after this next vote, hopefully, and we're very excited. And I have never, ever worked with anybody in my 3 years here that has been so eager to work with the community and been so upfront and eager to please. So we're definitely looking forward to welcoming you to the community.
Move to close public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Now you can say welcome.
Item number 7.
Item number 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2014-032-S to allow a duplex G classification and a dwelling Z classification for Lot 3 of Torres subdivision located at 3735 Torres Road.
Commissioners, again, we have another map projected on the screen. This area shaded in red is the area for the specific use, which is located on Torres Road, very close to Military Highway, on the west side of Brownsville. This was before the Planning and Senate Commission, and all recommended approval of the specific use for a duplex.
Are there other duplexes around that area?
There's a couple of houses, but they're farther, like 300 feet away, and there are a couple of big empty lots. So it's kind of alone.
Isolated?
I'm sorry?
Is it an isolated road?
Yes.
Very isolated.
I've never heard of it.
Any public comment from anyone else?
Move to close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Do we have public comments? There's no public comment, Mayor. Item number 9, consideration and action to authorize $149,098 of plastic fee receipts to be used as a local match to finance the construction of the Bernard Street Park and the Duck Pond project.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, we have two PowerPoint presentations that we'd like to share with you tonight. With me, of course, we have the Brownsville Beautification Committee that's going to make most of the presentation. I will start with this presentation. The total project for this is around $291,083, and it's funded from various sources. BCIC is funding $112,783. We are requesting for you to authorize for us to use the plastic bag fee of $149,098, and the rest would come from the Beautification Committee funds, which is supported by the general fund. And the total expenditures, again, are $291,083. The balance in the plastic bag fee account as of July 31st was $555,936. The city generates approximately $72,000 in plastic bag fees each month. If the city authorizes the request of $149,098 of plastic bag fees to be used as a match for this project, the balance would then be $406,838. We began the plastic bag fee in January of 2011, and those are the numbers. We have the receipts and as well as expenditures and ending balances each year, as well as beginning balances for each fiscal year. The largest receipting that we had was in 2013, $824,000. Through July of this year, we have received $730,160. We do have expenditures, and they're on Schedule A that I will go over right after this schedule. We have an expenditures of $1,036,959 in fiscal year 2013, and $903,145 through the end of July of 2014. These are the expenditures that have been authorized by the City Commission for all those fiscal years, and it gives you by categories. At the very beginning, we had what we call the Make a Difference Day, when we actually pay for citizens to bring some of their disposable items, and we would pay them, and we would take them to the landfill. We have the Brownsville Beautiful, and so forth and so forth. In 2013, we did have some major equipment that we purchased: the tube grinder and 2 street sweepers, and we also had a curbside recycling project. That's 2 street sweepers, so $411,000 altogether. So far, if we look at the receipts from the very beginning, we have received $2,557,051, and we have expenses of $2,101,112, which has a fund balance of $555,939. Here we have Mr. Rubio that will go over the project that we support. Mr. Rubio? You want the other PowerPoint?
Are there any comments about the bag fee money that we're using? Comment about that?
I'm sorry?
Good evening. My name is Jolie Rubio. I'm your chairman of the Brownsville Beautification Committee.
Joe, how are you?
Thank you, Mayor and City Commissioners, for taking time to consider our request. This Duck Pond project has been on the radar for the Beautification Committee for probably 5 years now. It's always been up there. It's been a project that's been too expensive to us to fund with our limited budget. So this is my second go-around as chairman of the Beautification Committee, and I always like to try to partner and look for other sources of funding so we can get these projects done. And we were successful in getting the approval of the grant from BCIC, our 2080 match on this project. And this is what what it looks like now. There's been a lot of erosion in that area, and it's getting real close to the street. The bench doesn't look in very good shape. The guardrail is, rusty, bent up, and stuff like that. And we put the project together, and BCIC says, yeah, we hit the first time around, and that was really nice. And the project that we envisioned was more extensive than this, and it was very costly. But we kind of like scaled it down and took some elements out of it so that we could do the project with the grant and our match. And then at the suggestion of the committee, they suggested that maybe we could put those elements back into the project and ask for additional monies from the bag fee if they met the criteria. And so that's where we're at now. We've given you an idea of what it's going to look like when it's finished. We're going to do shoreline stabilization. We're going to replace the existing guardrail. We're going to put in a trail, I should say a walkway of decomposed granite alongside the duck pond there, along the side of the street. We're going to put in the crosswalks with handicap accessibility. We're going to stabilize the shoreline with these biologs, which was a really great idea, and it's environmentally sound there. We're going to put in a little observation deck going out into the pond. We wanted to put 3 originally in the plans, but we scaled down to just 1 right now. If we get additional funds later on from additional partners, which we intend to go into PUB, making the presentation. The engineers have already looked at these plans, and they look very favorable to them. But we anticipate going to their meeting next month on their agenda and show them plans. And maybe if they wanted to kick in some additional money, we can put in another deck, another observation deck into the pond there. And maybe if they're really kind-hearted and they have a lot of money, we can possibly put in the gazebo. That's another costly feature that we're not going to do at this time because of limited funds. But it'll have signage, it'll have lighting, it'll have an aerator, so it's going to look really nice. We'll have some additional seating, benches, and picnic tables and stuff like that. So it'll be a really kind of like a first-class little area. It'd be an example of what we could do maybe in some of the other Resaca projects after the dredging's done and stuff like that at City Cemetery. These are the preliminary plans that have been approved by the committee to do that project. Of course, we're only going to do 1 deck at this time. We're not going to do the gazebo, and we're not going to do the other deck. Hopefully, maybe PUB say, yeah, we'll give you the money for the other deck, or maybe even the gazebo. So we'll see what happens. In my experience, that we've been real successful in partnering with different entities and doing some projects at the beautification committee. Our budget was cut, and people were a little disappointed that we didn't have very much money to spend on projects and stuff like that. But since I've been in the committee before, and now we've had partnerships with Cameron County and the university to do the old Gateway Park over there, Welcome to Brownsville sign there, improvements there. We've done Welcome to Brownsville sign out on Highway 48 with the port, and they partnered with us, so we were able to do that project. With limited funds, we did some more in Rhode Island, and we intend to do some more. But we sought out partners, and Tipton Ford and First Community Bank pitched in some money so to make those islands a reality. And so we've been real successful with partnering and stuff like that, and finding additional sources of funding where we could to do these projects. And the next slide is the breakdown on our project and where the sources of funding is going to be spent. I believe legal's also looked at this and approved the expenditures. It meets the criteria for the plastic bag funding. And I do have an update on our projects and stuff like that. I can either do that now, or I can bring it back to you at a workshop later on. I think this is just for the this is just a duck pond. So we'll do that. Yeah. If you have any questions.
Sorry, yes, I have a question. How do you decide where exactly you're going to create these projects? Why did you pick that particular neighborhood?
We have a yearly meeting to determine our list of projects for the coming year. This has been on that list for 5 years now, but since the cost of it is so high, we've just been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And when the grant opportunity came, we applied for it, we went ahead and chose this one because this was been on our radar for such a long time. It was a more expensive one. But the committee meets as a whole once a year, and we determine where we're going to spend our limited budget on what projects. We usually 2 or 3 projects in a year.
And since the cost is so high, wouldn't it be better to create it in an area that has more public access? Because I feel in that neighborhood, you really have to go out of your way to get there.
Right.
This is my question.
This is a map, a location map of our projects in the city. We have done close to 60 projects in the city since the Beautification Committee was created with the landscape ordinance and stuff like that. Our landscape ordinance is one of the nicest landscape ordinances, and the first one in the Rio Grande Valley. And just to tell you the difference it makes, I think the last project that was done before the ordinance took effect was the Burlington Coat Factory there on Boca Chica. And if you'll look at it, it's a parking lot and a store. That's it. And now when you look at someone coming in and does a Walmart or something like that, because of our landscape ordinance and the enforcement of it, we have nice parking lots with trees in it. Sometimes the trees don't really take, and they replace them, put in something that works and stuff like that. But you know, because of the landscape ordinance, because of the support of the City Commission back then and now, we have a more beautiful city. And in fact, this year, as part of a celebration for Arbor Day, we've been recognized for the 15th year in a row as Tree City USA. And we're having our little quinceañera party probably in November, and we'll have a celebration during Arbor Day, a presentation of the award for Tree City USA. And it's because of the efforts of the Beautification Committee, the City Commission, and our partners, even PUB, we work with them on preservation of trees and stuff like that, that we get those recognitions. And we try to put improvements all over the city, but we're limited to public, city right-of-ways, city property, and stuff like that.
And one last question,
Okay.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you know off the top of your head how many of these projects you have in District 1? In the southmost area?
I do. Well, they have a pretty good, when Beautification Committee first started, I was actually active on it. And Beautification's first projects were in District 1.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been beneficial to a lot of projects from the Beautification Committee, and with partners. Believe it or not, HEB was a major contributor to the Beautification Committee when we first started.
Okay.
I see one in District 2 that I can see from here.
She asked about one.
I have one.
We just spent a ton of money replacing stolen backflow valves in all the districts, thanks to our committee and city management and public works. So, I mean, we don't say this has to be in District 1. We just, I mean,
our biggest problem right now is maintenance on our projects. We have a three-person crew that works out of Public Works that takes care of the maintenance on our projects. Their budget is uniforms, gas, salaries, and that's it. There's nothing in that budget for mulch material, for replacing plants that die, different stuff like maintenance on our irrigation systems, sprinkler heads and stuff like that. So they've been working with donations. We recently got a donation of some plants, and they went over to the Milpa Bear, the Triangle, and they put the plants in there and put some mulch in there. And that was with donations and with manpower from Public Works. So if we had more monies, we could bring more of our projects back up to snuff. A lot of our projects went downhill because we lost our backflow preventers for a long time. We didn't have water available, and when you don't have water available during drought situations, you lose plant materials and stuff like that. So that's not what we want. All our projects have irrigation systems because we don't want to we don't want to put in a project and have it lost because we didn't have rain or something like that. So they all have irrigation stuff.
In the future, I'd like to talk to you about maybe creating a little bridge in the Resaca area that has cobbleheads and the Holiday Inn where Mr. Kenny has his canoe
Yeah,
boat ride.
He's talked to me about
And-
that too.
Those are regular.
I think it would be great if we could work on something like that, create a public space that celebrates those types of.
And something just for your edification also, our aerators don't work all the time because the fact that we don't have the funds to maintain them and stuff like that. You might consider.
Removing them?
Huh?
Removing them and putting a bridge?
No, not removing them, but making use of your environmental assessment fee, I mean, your plastic bag fund, to maybe work with the aerators and get those back up to snuff and stuff like that, if it meets the criteria for that.
If there's
for that
any
kind of
left.
project, stuff like that. Because I've had people say, well, we gave $5,000 for an aerator and now it's only on maybe an hour a day or something like that. And I go like, it's not beautification committee, but I'll look into it, stuff like that.
And
But,
Joe,
you know,
before we go on, thank you for all your work.
Sure, no problem.
You've spent a lot of time on this effort, and a lot of you guys have, and so for that, we thank you immensely.
If you have any more questions, I'd be happy.
Well, I have a comment. I would
Sure,
be
go
very
ahead.
grateful if you could work on a project in District 2, because they're very deserving people
It's-
of beautiful things.
In fact, we're having our planning and budget workshop probably next week on Thursday.
I'll attend.
And it'll be a public notice, and so you all know it, and be more than welcome to come and ask us for
I'll
some
sketch some
consideration.
stuff for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I'd like to say that BCIC is delighted that you use BCIC funds to leverage other dollars. That's the whole point.
Mhm.
So we hope you come back again. And I would say that a project such as the bridge over that Resaca, or something that complements the splash park in District, Commissioner Tetro's district, would be very highly favored within BCIC's budget.
Is the Welcome to Brownsville sign at the port in your district?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's lots of fun stuff over there.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Joe.
Item 10, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase of maintenance renewal for court case management software for the Brownsville Municipal Court.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the commission. We're seeking funding for the renewal of our annual maintenance and support software that's for our case management software at the court. It's from Encode. And the contract is with Tyler Technologies, which is associated with Encode, and they're a sole source for this. It's an annual contract that y'all have approved many times in the past, but since it's over $35,000, we have to come to you. So we are still using the software, and we do need it maintained and upgraded, so we ask for your support on that.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Appreciate it.
We adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned.